How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the 3.75 inch action figure range from Doctor Who. So this collection range, when I was collecting it when I was younger, I collected a bit, I stopped collecting because I got bored, then I went back, then I stopped. So it was very much stop-start collection of figures there. I mean, I didn't start collecting figures until quite a few years ago myself, to be honest, and the collection has just blew up. And now I can sadly say every figure which I want from the modern series, I have. So from the revival, all the figures up. I don't have all the classic figures because I don't really collect classic Who. And I never really watched all of it. But the revival, New Who as we call it, and then going into the Who reverse, I've watched every single episode and I have every single figure released, which I'm very, very happy to say. So, what about 3.75 inch figure wave? I don't know. I genuinely don't believe I've got all the figures. I mean, the 50th anniversary set, I know I haven't got. There was some Dalek sets which were on a Toys R Us exclusive, I believe. They were classic Daleks, but I don't have them. Bits in the Wave 4 because Wave 4 had 5 figures, then it had 4 figures, but those 4 were different to those 5. So I really don't know, but I don't have all the Wave 4 figures. I don't believe I got all the Wave 3 figures either, but I think I do with the Wave 1 and 2. So I found a website online which notes there in every single one with a photo of which wave. So I'm going to go upstairs and get that figure set out and have a look, see if I've got them all. I know I've got all the figure sets as in the bits what you had to build with the cardboard, but I genuinely don't know about the figures. So let's have a look which ones I'm missing, and see which ones I do need to get. So here we have the sets now. I've gone through, I've used the websites, I've put them in which wave they were released in order, but some at the back there I genuinely can't figure out where I've got them from. And I've got a little bit of a note in here on the ones which I am missing. So in Wave 1, I actually have a complete set. So the first wave came like this on the back, and that meant that we had the third, and that meant that we had the 11th Doctor figure, which I've got here. Clara in the small scale, I mean, it's really hard for you to see this figure at all, really. We had a Weeping Angel. Now, this Weeping Angel did in fact come with a base stand, even though it doesn't need one, but we still kept it and use it. We had the original Cyberman. Now, this isn't the chase version. There were chase versions, but I haven't got, well, I've only got one chase version, to be completely honest. And then the Ice Warrior figure, which was in Series 7. Then we also have the Dalek. Now, this is the original release. They did re-release this, and I have got that one here. And literally all it was that the colour on the eye stalk. A little bit less here than here, but the original Dalek and re-release. And then I was also lucky enough to get the chase version of Dalek Sec. Now, that was the complete Wave 1. It was complete, and now I got the one chase. There were some others, but I'm not really bothered about chase versions. But what I really want is Wave 1 through to 4 complete, and that includes Wave 3A, Wave 3B, Wave 3C, Wave 4A, and Wave 4B. So, with all them, hopefully I'll get them all in the worst and collector sets, which I haven't got. But somehow I've got one figure out of the collector set, which we'll get onto. But in Wave 2, it was only a 5-figure release again. It was 5 figures instead of 6, so they'd reduced the amount. And that was Peter Capaldi as the Doctor. Now, they changed the base plates as well for this, from a blue colour to a grey colour. So you had clear differentiation of which was from which wave. Then you had Matt Smith from Season 5. Once again, you had Clara, she was the current companion at the time. This version of Clara was a lot better than in Wave 1. You also had the Zygons, because they were just in the special with Matt Smith in Day of the Doctor, and got the grey plate again. And then you had another Weeping Angel, which once again came with a base plate, but you didn't really need it. Now this one has got more of a cracked effect compared to the one in the first wave, but once again that's another complete wave, apart from the Daleks. Now there were some Daleks in this wave which I never picked up. Now these were, and I've got the book down here so I can tell you the correct names, the Imperial Guard Dalek and the Assault Dalek. Now they look like this. Gonna have to pick them up to have a complete wave 2. It's literally just 2 figures which I'm missing from that wave. Then we move on to wave 3. Now this is where they split it into wave 3A, wave 3B and wave 3C. It's the first time they ever did that in this, and I had wave 3A and that was complete. So it came with Peter Capaldi again, exactly the same, apart from the paint tabs on his hair were a bit better than before, and they did change the base plates again. So wave 1 had blue ones, wave 2 had grey ones, and wave 3 had red ones. Now, I actually do think that is a good thing that they did, just to show the colour differentiation, how they, if you had them on display with the stands, could say, that's wave 1, that's wave 2, that's wave 3, and that's wave 4. We had Peter Capaldi in his new costume with the white shirt. We had the 10th Doctor and his long coat. Now, this was like a figure I had to pick up. I had to pick it up because I really, really thought it was cool. Then we went back in time and we got Amy Pond from the Asylum of the Daleks, I believe the episode was. And once again, thought that was really cool. It's a shame we never got that exact figure and colour in the 6-inch scale. Then we have the Asylum of the Daleks Dalek. Now, they did release this in 6-inch figure as well, and I do have that. I'm very glad I did. And then they also released a classic Dalek. Now, it's Dalek Drone, I believe. I can't tell you which one it is, if I'm completely honest. But, yeah, they released this. I believe I got this in the 6-inch version as well. So that's in there, and that was Wave 3A, and that one was actually completed. Then they came out with Wave 3B, and they were literally just 2 figures different, so I weren't going to rebuy the same figure. And that was Amy Pond in the B&M colour, which we got in Wave the B&Ms. The 3-pack her, and the Clara, and there was another figure. But this was the colourway we got, and we had it before in the 3.7 5-inch range. And then the figure which I had, and I had to open, I bought it in a mystery box, I believe, and I had to open it because I thought it was cool. The Dalek with Mutant Scoop. Now, they haven't re-released that in the History of the Dalek set, but I've got a feeling that it might be coming. If it has, I just haven't got through those sets and double checked. Then that was Wave 3B complete because it was just 2 different paint jobs. Then Wave 3C got released, and that was just 4 more different figures and just re-released the same figure. So we started off with the 10th Doctor with the jacket. Now, I genuinely believe this was kind of strange because it was at the time that Peter Capaldi was still the Doctor, and it'd been a long time since David Tennant was the Doctor, but looking back, Tennant was the face of Doctor Who for so long, it was unreal. Then we had Matt Smith's Doctor, the 11th Doctor, in the green jacket. Would have loved this in a 6-inch figure. I still would, but doesn't look like we're going to get that. Then the robot from the Caretaker. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce the name, but this was the robot. And this actually was released in Series 4 as well, by Wave 4. But it was originally in Wave 3C, which I got complete. And then the last figure in there, which really threw me, bearing in mind we had no classic monsters, we had no classic Doctors, but we have yet another classic Dalek, the Supreme, I think it was, the gold one. So another classic Dalek. So that's 2 classic Daleks now. No, 3 classic Daleks already in here. And no classic Dalek. I mean, no classic figures other than the Daleks. Really weird. But that was Wave 3C, and that was completed as well. So then we moved on to Wave 4A and Wave 4B. Now, Wave 4A, I was missing 2 figures, but the one figure that I got out of it because they re-released that robot in there. The other one was the Mummy from the Orient Express. Now, one thing that character did and I don't like, they had the foot pegs for the stand, but released no stand receivers for. Now, I don't know how I feel about that, but I do. I just don't like it. Well, it's one of them. You can probably pick these up, these stands upon line for cheap, and then you can probably put them in the purple colourway, purple away for. So just a bit of spray paint, and I might do that if I do get the full set. But I had the Mummy. The ones I was missing were the Cyberman with the gun arm, which was also the chase for Wave 1, but he had a blue part here, so the chest was glowing blue for a change. And the Doctor in his caretaker attire now. I can't even remember seeing that in person. I've seen photos online, but I've never seen it in person. So Wave 4A was incomplete. Then move on to Wave 4B, and there was 2 figures which I was missing in there as well. So really, 6 figures I need to get, and I've got from Wave 1 to Wave 4 complete. So that is the aim. But the first figure in here, which I genuinely believe I didn't have until going through here, was Danny Pinkett, the Cyberman. So Danny Pinkett as a Cyberman, it's a figure. It's unique, but really important, is it? But I got it. And then the other one was School Teacher Clara, as I like to call her, in the school teaching attire. Very similar cardigan and colourway to the 12th Doctor, I believe. Then we had the Asylum of the Daleks Dalek, Rusty. Now this version I did get, I called it the toothbrush version. The one that vibrates and moves. I've actually still got power. It sounds like a toothbrush. Moving very, very slowly. But yeah. I got that version rather than the normal version. Because it came with a set, to be completely honest. And then the last one in this wave was the other Supreme Dalek which I opened quite a while ago. And on the back, this is what the last wave, Wave 4B, looked like. The 2 figures I'm missing which are on the back here. Oh, this is the Underground Toys version. But the 2 I was missing from the back were the 12th Doctor in spacesuit with space germs. Look like spiders to me. And the 12th Doctor in his purple shirt. Just 6 figures. Now, there were more than just 4 waves. There was some collector sets which were released, and there were like some sets of the TARDIS. So I got the one TARDIS set, and this was Matt Smith's TARDIS. I didn't get Capaldi's TARDIS, unfortunately. I just couldn't be bothered, to be honest. I've got one. The TARDISes are literally the same, just a slight different colour. So that was good enough for me. It's his dag. But the sets that were, it was the Day of the Doctor collector set. Now, it was a 3-pack, it looked like this. But somehow, I have the Zygon out of that set. So in my head, I've got the Zygon from that set. I've got the Doctor, the 10th Doctor from that set, which was released in one of the previous waves. So really, I'm only missing the 11th Doctor. But I do want the collector's set. But this one is like an extra one. Then there were the Dalek sets. Now they look like this. Once again, classic Daleks. No classic Doctors, no other classic monsters. But it was Dalek collector set 1, 2 and 3. Now I didn't get that one either. No idea why, really. Saw it in Toys R Us. Just didn't care. But now I do. It's always the way, isn't it? When you don't care anymore, or when you didn't care at the time, now you can't get them anymore, you care. But it looks like I'm going to be scouring eBay for 6 figures to start off with, and then 4 collector sets. Now, they did have a set where it was the Doctor, 11th Doctor, Clara, which was like transparent, see-through, like hologram, and the TARDIS, and there was a transparent TARDIS one apparently. Not really bothered about them, but I will have a look into it, possibly. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time for some more Doctor Who content.